We are now getting clarity from the LAPD that this is a homicide investigation into what happened to Celeste, and also learning that there are witnesses or people who are cooperating with the LAPD giving them information. As I reported last night, the LAPD did break their silence, and they were talking about a lot of different things and also disputing TMZ's reporting that Celeste was frozen and that her head was not intact. And on top of the Los Angeles Police Department coming out to the media outlets last night with all of this information, we also have them making and releasing an official statement today. The Los Angeles Police Department is aware of recent stories posted by various media outlets about the David Celeste Rivas investigation, and we would like to dispel some misinformation contained in their reporting. The body of Celeste Rivas was not frozen when it was discovered on September 8th, 2025, and she had not been decapitated. We have evidence that David traveled to Santa Barbara area sometime during the spring of 2025. The reason for that trip is still under investigation, and we've drawn no conclusion at this point about the relevance of this trip to this case. As far as the court order, the LAPD sought to seal the records of the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's investigation into the passing of Celeste Rivas. That order was only sought to ensure detectives learned of the important information surrounding her passing before the media and the public. The order was not sought to undermine transparency. No other information will be provided at this time. But it's important to note some of the information that we are about to talk about is from the Los Angeles Times, and they are reporting of the court documents on why they sealed this case and how this case is being investigated by the LAPD. LAPD Detective Joshua Bowers, a veteran of the Robbery Homicide Division who is handling Celeste's case, filed a declaration in court on Friday that described their probe as an unaliving investigation. And the Los Angeles Times said that they saw these court documents, and this was the LAPD writing a declaration to the judge to try to get that security hold, which was granted on Friday. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Craig Richmond granted the LAPD's request and ordered that the medical examiner's findings be sealed. In this court declaration, the detective said that making the autopsy findings public would reveal or tend to reveal the ongoing investigation and the integrity of the investigation, as well as the identity of witnesses and or informants who are cooperating with law enforcement. The information they have provided could endanger the lives of witnesses or compromise the investigation. The judge then ordered that the declaration, supporting documents, and the court order itself be sealed and maintained in a secure location in the custody of the clerk of court until further order of this court. So we now have confirmation that the LAPD is handling this investigation as an unaliving investigation, and also that they are learning information from somebody that is close to this situation. This news is huge because it's something that we've never heard actually confirmed before. And not only was there articles wrote about this from the Los Angeles Times talking to the LAPD last night, they also gave an in-person interview voice recording. And this is them talking about TMZ specifically and other news sources reporting that Celeste was frozen and found without her head attached. I'll just go ahead and play you this clip from the LAPD talking about this because I see the TMZ source is still disputing what the LAPD said and still is claiming that Celeste was partially frozen.
The LAPD is pushing back against what it calls false reporting in the death investigation of Celeste Rivas, and tonight investigators are still working to figure out the cause of her death. The commanding officer of LAPD's elite robbery homicide division says he's disappointed by what he calls misinformation from TMZ that's been picked up by other outlets in the death investigation of Celeste Rivas. The 14-year-old's body was found in the trunk of a Tesla belonging to singer David, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke. TMZ is reporting Rivas's body had been frozen. Captain Scott Williams disputed that and other reports on the case during an interview with KNX News Radio's Emily Valdez.
They're reporting that Celeste's body was frozen when it was discovered is untrue. Celeste was not decapitated. So I'm not sure exactly who their source is that's giving them this information.
The car was found abandoned in the Hollywood Hills in September. Williams also says detectives have no evidence Rivas's body was taken to Santa Barbara County for dismemberment.
Disappointing to me because all of this misinformation that's being put out there, it just creates additional work for my investigators that they have to do in order to get to the truth.
There are a lot of things you have to think about when it comes to TMZ's false reporting that LAPD is saying in their statements that make a lot of sense. And as somebody that covers this case, because we are literally talking about a child, it's really aggravating and disheartening to see TMZ doubling down with this source about this story. And like the LAPD says, they said, there is no evidence at all that she was frozen, but even if they were true, which they're not, it would make absolutely no sense. They're saying that Celeste was in this car for at least 5 weeks. The LAPD has confirmed that they believe the Tesla was parked for the very last time at the end of July. The same exact thing that we hear Steve Fisher, the PI, referencing that he has a video of. And if you take it from the date on 8/27 when they first came out saying that they got a 72-hour warning that it's been sitting in the same spot, if you take 5 weeks from that, that would give you the end of July. And why I get so aggravated about this, okay, let's say TMZ had this source that came and he purposely gave them false information. All right, understand that. But the fact that they are doubling down on this is just so aggravating. And honestly, in my opinion, it's sick. The LAPD is confirming this, but not only this, like the medical examiner said, once this investigation is done and they basically apprehend the suspect and it moves through in the legal process, we will know the details about what happened to Celeste. It's not going to be something that just stays under wraps and nobody's going to know this whole entire time. It's literally being kept secretive because of this investigation. They literally say why in what I covered just a little while ago. In my opinion, I highly doubt that we are going to have the LAPD just doubling down on the fact that this information is false and come out and say it's hurting and making it harder for our detectives to investigate this case. And I say this because they know, just like the medical examiner stated in his statement, it's not something that is going to be kept under wraps this whole time. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.